Okay, mbaniriza ku mugagga 49. Leero nze waliwo guy gwe mbaleetedde wano agenda kuba okutunyumiza ku by'okusoma wano mu Poland. Era mbadde munyoonya naye nga obudde tetubukwasaganya bulungi, naye muleesi agenda kuba atunnyonnyola bwe oyagala kusoma wano okola otya, kiki ekisookerwako. Andaba omulundi gw'ogusooka nze mugagga 49 mbeera mpositinga wano ekiba kigenda mu maaso wano e Poland n'ebintu ebisingako awo. Mugayi mukwano gwange namumanyira wano, namumanyira ku mukwano gwe yakola ki gwe mbadde nkola naye, naye kati agenda kuba atubuulira amannya ge ne wano amazeewo bbanga ki, abadde asoma biki, yamala okusoma olwedde akola mu banka, naye just njagadde muleete asooka atuyisizeeyiseemu oba yagala kusoma wano okola otya. Ekirala ajja kuba atubuulira ebisingako ebimukwatako, naye nga gwe asoose bw'oba nga gwe mulundi gwo ogusoose okulaba eno vidiyo, mbadde nsaba osubscribinge gende mu maaso. Ekirala bino ajja kuba ayogera mu Luzungu era mbasabye mugumiikirize tulabe ekigenda mu maaso. Kale, yes bro.
Hi. Yeah, I'm good.
You can introduce yourself.
So my name is Mohammed, and basically I'm from India. I've been here in Poland for like last 4 years, and here I'm working in a corporate area.
Yes.
So it's been a while being here.
Okay.
So it's been a while being here, and everything is good. So today we are here to talk about studies in Poland.
Right.
And
now we know I only want you to take us step by step how from India how do you choose a university, or how do you choose that in all countries in Europe I want to study from Poland? Where does the idea come from and stuff like that?
Okay, so basically I really wanted to come to Europe. It was kind of a dream to move abroad, and I wanted to explore different culture and different people. So that was the main idea behind that. And the reason why I selected Poland was that I looked for the opportunities in Europe, and I found that there are like many countries offering the studies, but with Poland, why I felt comfortable is basically because of the fact that it's very affordable, and also that the market of the organized sector, like people getting hired in corporate sector, was increasing here. So that was the main idea behind it, that the risk factor was pretty much less compared to other countries. So also I studied in finance, and the program which I found here was also kind of relevant with what I studied and what I wanted to pursue. And hence I decided to come to Poland. So I shortlisted like a couple of I think around like 4 universities in Poland, and the reason with which I selected the Warsaw one was it's a capital city here, and I thought that maybe it would be easier for me to talk to people and like settle in. So I selected this university called Vistula in Warsaw. It's kind of a private university, and I really wanted to get into public university, but since I had less amount of time to get the admission, I missed an opportunity with that. So hence I selected one of the, like, I wouldn't say it's like highly reputed, but it's one of the good to known university in Poland. So the procedure with which I started was that I hunted with the exact course which I wanted to study. So in my case, I wanted to study finance, and I decided to look for the options here via a couple of websites which I can list it down below. So you can also compare the price from the university and the studies and the programs which are offered. You can just select which program you want to study, and there will be the list of universities being shown.
Okay, now before you come from India, now when you select a university here in Poland, now how do you do that? Do you like submitting your transcripts like this, A-levels, O-levels?
Okay, so the first step which involved was that I make an online application, which I did, and after that I had to take all my transcripts, all my certificates from my bachelor's degree, and send it to the embassy and get it registered,
like being certified.
Yeah, being certified.
Yes.
And sometimes it's the procedure, it's very much required, because that's how they get to know that it's not fake certificate. So that was the first step which I followed. Then later on I sent all my documents to the university here in Poland. They cross-checked and verified that.
How much time does it take for them to cross-check everything?
I think around it took around like 25 to 30 days.
Now,
like,
do you pay money before anything, or you pay
no?
money?
But I have to pay the amount of money to certify the certificates in my country.
How much money do you pay?
I think in Indian rupees it was around like 15K, so it's like 15,000 INR. And if I just roughly translate to Polish zlotys, it should be around like 900 PLN, something like this.
900. Okay.
800, I think 800 PLN. So that's that amount of money, but it was paid back in 2019. So please be mindful about that.
Yeah. Now maybe things may have changed.
That have changed definitely. After that, once it was verified, I got in touch with the person here in Poland, one of the people working here in the university. I tried to get the contact and see what is the status of the application. So after a while, they said that my application has been accepted and I can be enrolled. But however, the visa procedures are different from the university. So we have to take care of the visa procedure, or we can, hire somebody there in my country to help me with the procedure and all that.
Now these documents the university sends you, they cannot help you to do the visa stamping and stuff. They cannot help the documents.
They do. They can send all the required documents, whatever is required. But to find, when I was there in my country, there was a kind of I would say a systematic kind of restriction that outside people or locals, normal people cannot have the access to the booking slot of the visas, right? Somebody has blocked it already, and usually it's the agents who are doing that. They will not let us to do on our own. So you have to buy, you have to pay some money to get a slot in the visa. So I paid some amount of money back there to get a slot in for the visas. So I did that. After a while, I listed down some of the documents which would be required during the procedure. So what I did is that I written down a list of documents from the government websites, and after my research. So usually what they require is that all the documents from a country,
be
certified.
That's the one thing they need.
That's the one thing they need. And besides that, I would say they would require the funding part of the the funding part of the bank statement or something like that, which guarantees that you have amount of money to cover the living cost here. So you need to show a statement of the bank for the last 1 month or 3 months, depending upon the country where you are.
Yes.
So you have to show that. And besides that, I would say you need to have the application acceptance letter. So you have to show that.
Yeah, from the university.
Yeah. And you have to also show, you have paid the fees, the tuition fees for the first year or some, 6 months, let's say.
Like on average, how much money do they need this initial deposit? Can I call it a deposit? How much money do they need?
You mean the amount of money which has to be in the bank for the living cost, right? So that should be around, like in my country, it was, I would say, it's quite high. Maybe it's let me guess in point. I think it was in Indian rupees. It was on like 6 lakhs.
6 lakhs.
Yeah, but that includes the fees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the fees of the tuition fees and all that. If you exclude that, it should be around like 4 lakhs something. So I would say it's like, let's say 25,000 zlotys.
25,000.
Yeah. So you need to lock this amount, and you have to show it as a statement, like while you're traveling or something. So you are just giving them the assurance that you will be covering the cost of
But
living.
do they need this money in physical, like to appear in your bank statement, or it's just like a formality?
It's kind of a formality.
Ah,
Let's say in the procedure,
yeah,
it's required, but it's kind of a formality. You can
okay,
always
for the embassy.
yeah, for the embassy.
Okay, now I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after everything is done, they've already satisfied the papers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've given you the acceptance letter. Now you've chose the program, which one to be doing. Now what next?
So you just go to this. You book a slot, like for the visa. So you go there and you submit all these documents, and there you will be asked. It's very random questions.
Now you said the slots they tend to take so much time.
The slots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you need to pay someone to make it quick.
Yeah, definitely, because I think it's kind of very organized kind of activity which is undertaken by some agents who are not letting it to be accessed by the normal people. So and that is one of the problem which occurs, which is there, and which stops us from accessing it. So you pay the money, you get the slot, and you go and submit all the documents there. With the time given there, and there you can be interviewed. So in the interview you could be asked anything about what is the purpose, what did you do, and what you want to do in your life if you get here.
All questions asked are related to you studying here.
Definitely, I think
study work related questions.
Yes.
So now after you're done with the interview, then when do they decide that they're going to give you a visa? When do they tell you that?
So usually it's gonna take around like minimum 3 weeks. Yeah. Minimum. In my country it's more, we have more people, so for me it took around like 3 weeks for the decision. So you are always stamped when you are giving the document that your decision will be, you should be expecting a decision within this time frame. So you have to just wait, and like once you get the decision, you can just book the tickets. Yeah, but one more thing I forgot to mention is that while you're applying and while you're making this visa interview, so along with the documents, I would also recommend them to book the, I don't know how it works, but sometimes it's also they are asking about the flight tickets, how will you manage and all that. So you have to be like a reservation kind of thing. So that would be also pretty much better if they could, I don't know if it's a dummy or the real one, but they need to have that as well. They need to have the, yeah.
Now, do they need to have any of the insurances? Yes.
Yeah, there is a travel insurance which I bought while I was traveling here. I mean, so it's not quite expensive. I think it's around like 250 zlotys when I was doing it.
You buy it while before you come?
I made it online. There is certain Indian companies which do offer travel insurance. So you need to also have this travel insurance, like along with the. So while you're coming, you need to take that. Like also while submitting the application, you need to show them that.
Now when everything is done, now you have everything. Now you've already booked the flight. Now you're flying. Now you can take us through when you land in Poland. Where do you go?
So
after you've landed in Poland.
So what I would really suggest is to find somebody, I don't know if it's online or something. You really try to find some guy who can make a reservation in the dorm, or find you a flat, but nowadays the flat is like really crazy, the market is crazy. So I would really suggest them to find somebody who can book a dorm for them.
Now, when the university gives you an admission or acceptance letter,
Yeah.
these dormitories, the money, the tuition you pay is not inclusive of the where you're going to sleep.
No,
It's a separate.
it's a separate thing.
payment.
It's a separate payment. I mean, it really depends if you are willing to pay the university, along with the tuition fees to have your dorm. It's upon you. But however, sometimes I think that for the initial time stage, if they are not able to find somebody who can help them with the place to reside, they can go with this option, safest option of just asking the university to book a dorm for them, like, or make a reservation in the dorm. But however, usually it's quite expensive. So
now you have to do the reservation of the dormitory before you leave India.
yeah.
Then when you come at the airport, you go direct to the location.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the dormitories are.
Yeah.
Now, do they need to be close to the university or?
So it's very subjective, I would say, because some people, just be on the further, far away from the university because they want to pay less amount of rent. So it depends on the priority, because the places close to university, usually within the 3 kilometers radius, is quite expensive. So
now how do you go now? The transportation from the airport when you arrive, it's so you have to pay this money, or you have to book an Uber that takes you to the dormitory, or there's an arrangement at the university that there's nothing like any arrangement.
You can make an online, you can just find an online taxi service before you end up here, and you can just write them, email them, or call them even via WhatsApp or something. And you can just make reservation for that somebody has to come and pick me up, and with the boat, so you can find them easily. Or maybe if you come here, you have certain areas in the airport, within the airport, where you can access the Wi-Fi. So you can also download Uber, and you can just take an Uber ride as well.
Before you do a reservation of the dormitory, they send you where the location is and everything.
They do send the location, but initially it will be a little bit tricky to find it. So
unless you use Uber.
Yeah, you use Uber. But also, I would also suggest them to find an internet package, before international internet package or something.
Before they come.
Definitely, it's gonna help them, because it's always tricky if somebody is not there to help you out. So I was struggling to find a place where I wanted to end up. I had to wait for one guy because he came after 2 hours or something, and I was without internet package, and I didn't know, I was clueless in the airport. I didn't know what to do, and I was just standing there and like waiting for this guy, and he didn't even had a board or something. So it can get crazy if you don't have the internet package. So it's really required to have that. If you're spending that much amount of money, you need to have the internet package at least.
Now when you arrive at the dormitory, you already have your place, or like a position where you're going to sleep. Then after the next day, when you go to the university for registration, do you need also to do the registration?
Yes, definitely. So once you get up here, you have to be really quick to go to the university and do the procedure part, where you have to sign some documents, get enrolled. So they will be giving you, the student identification number, something like this. So, and also you need to have certain documents being, you need to give it to them, the original copies. So those document procedure also takes time. And if you're not quick to do it, there could be scenarios where they can charge you some amount of penalty as well. Because
like a fine?
Yeah, like a fine.
Because you've delayed
you delayed to do that.
I understand. Now after everything is done, when do you start the classes?
So usually I think if it's like some people come on H to the intake. So let's say if the university is starting on like 3rd, they would be coming here on 1st or 2nd. So it could be tricky to get settled in. So I would say, like, 10-15 days prior to that would be better, just get adjusted to the atmosphere and all that.
Oh, now when school starts, usually the programs are for 2 years.
Yeah, usually the programs are for 2 years.
Now-
Unlike in some other countries, here it's for 2 years.
Now when you're through with the 2 years, now you will be able to find a job, or you can also work while you're studying. Is it possible?
It is possible. You can work up to certain amount of hours. Yeah,
yes.
and also, but it's completely on you that if you're able to work or not, because sometimes university can be tricky, right? So you have to balance it between both of them, and it's just up to you that how you manage all these things.
Now, when the university is done, then the graduation, then when you pass, that's when you graduate. Then after you look for a job.
Yes.
Is it very hard to find a job in your field that you've studied, or it's very tricky? Or it depends on the program.
It
which
depends
you
on
chose?
it depends on I would say some people even find a job with the very the courses which are rare here. So I have seen such people that finding a job with a very rare course as well. So it really depends on the person, that how they are able to crack the interview and all that. So I wouldn't say it's tricky in here compared to few other countries.
Now I've had also people ask me, when you come here, do they teach in Polish, or you choose to
No,
learn
the
in
programs for the international students are always, unless you make this kind of mess that you are selecting in Polish, it's always in English, that you are learning in English, and there are like only few programs which would be in Polish, like few area of
Now,
studies.
like, is learning a Polish language a requirement, or you don't need to learn the language while you're in your process of doing your program? Do you need to really to learn the language, or it's not really a requirement?
It's not really required at the moment. Like whatever you learn in the English, they do not force you. But however, there could be some university which would offer you a basic Polish course. So I think that there is no harm in doing that. You can just learn little bit basics, but it's upon your interest that if you want to grow in that and learn the language. But you need to know at least few basic words to survive. So I think that's also offered in the university. You can just select the subject.
Okay. Now the other question: when you pay this money,
Yeah.
the tuition money, is it like 1 year tuition, or it's like a semester like that?
When you pay the tuition fee
From India, when
from
you
India,
pay, yes.
we had to pay for 1 year.
You work for 1 year, full 1 year.
Yeah,
Now-
but I think now there was like change in the rules as well, where they were, offering for 6 months. But however, I would really reckon to pay it 1 year, because it could be the reason for rejection in the visas. So it can be tricky, not to give them the chance to do that. So I would suggest them to pay it in 1 year.
In 1 year.
Yeah.
Now after 1 year is done, you can also pay the other year.
You can pay for 6 months as well.
You can pay for 6 months.
Yeah,
like in
there is
installments.
installment method which are offered by the universities.
Like how much in installment?
I think you can pay in like 2 or 3 installment kind of thing, that you pay per quarter or you pay per 6 months. So there are, I mean, it really depends on the university. So the one which I was studying, they let us do the installment for I think two times, so 2 installments, like 6 months and 6 months.
Alright. Now, like on average, how much pocket money like someone has to have like for 1 month for like a student, for them to come, like this monthly pocket money or shopping money, like monthly. How much
Monthly.
does someone has to spend?
You mean besides rent, or?
Yeah, besides, plus rent. Okay, you can tell us the rent money, then the pocket money rent also.
Okay, so I would take rent as an average of currently it should be around like 1,000 zlotys.
Rent.
Yeah.
Like a
single room or
yes.
something like that. And then you can have something for food, which is really subjective, that how much you eat.
How much you eat and how much which food you
eat.
like to prepare.
I mean, if you buy from the restaurants, you go bankrupt. I mean, you would be really.
Why would someone buy from a restaurant when they can cook?
Yeah.
Usually, the apartments that usually have like these apartments and this kitchen and everything is inclusive. Yeah,
you can access the kitchen area and you can just cook at least for a few months until for the first time you can rely on that.
Now this rent every month is
paid.
Okay,
yeah. Every month is paid.
Every month.
Yeah, every month. And I think they are very strict with the policies here with the rent, so you have to be careful with that.
Now this rent, do you take it to the bank or someone has to collect?
I would say even if somebody is insisting to pay you in cash, you just tell them that I will pay only by bank account, and that should be acting as a proof if somebody is going to scam you or not.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Now you pay each monthly.
Yeah.
When you pay 1,000 or 2,000 for rent, it comes with this gas, water bill, electricity, they're all inclusive in the 1,000, or there's an additional money you need to pay.
Okay, so the electricity and the other maintenance are like kind of inclusive, but there are certain things like water usage. It's paid 6 months per once. And there is like heating system.
Yeah, heating system.
It's also paid 6 months per once. So it could be exclusive. So when you're talking to the landlords, you have to be negotiating it properly, that if it's inclusive with the water and the heating system or not.
Now, like on average, how much is the water and the heating system?
I mean, now they increased the price crazily. So I'm not sure of the prices after the war.
The current
the current prices after the war is like very high. So it's hard to predict how much it's going to be, because we will be only getting the bills maybe next month. So I'm not sure of that, but I would say
now when someone is renting, they should keep in mind of the water charges and the heating charges.
Definitely.
Or they should ask the caretaker how is the process done and stuff.
I think it's depending upon the landlord. So while you're talking to them for renting a flat, you should be quick to ask about all these questions, that the utilities are being covered, and also by utilities you mean it's including of the water and the heating system. So you have to be very clear with this communication.
Okay. Well, before I forget, how many days or how many months do they give you for the visa validity before you come to Poland? That visa thing.
I think usually it's given for 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, basically it's given for 1 year.
Now when 1 year is done, how do you get the residence card?
Okay, so since you are here with your studies, you would be applying for Karta Pobytu, which is like the residence permit.
Now the university is the one that helps you, or you?
The university will be giving you all the required documents, and you have to fulfill other document requirements or something. Like the rental agreement of here and all that bills. So you have to also give them that as proof that you are residing in with a proper legal kind of thing. And that should be it. You should be waiting for like 3, 4 to 5 months to get your residence card. So it's a bit longer process after the war, because there are too many people, so it could be a bit tricky at the moment, but I think it will get more better in the near future.
Before people used to get the cards
in 3 months, something like this. It was there. I mean, it was really depending. Some people were like getting in 3 months, and some people like 6 months. So it's kind of sometimes the luck plays the factor as well.
But at the university, there are so many programs where one can choose to do this, or there are specific universities that handle maybe finance and other economics related the programs, or the university has a variety of programs?
I think most of the universities here, especially the government one, they offer almost all the courses which are out there. So it shouldn't be problem for you to find just find a university, and the courses which whatever you want, it will be there mostly.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Muhammad, for sharing.
Thank you for your time.
Let me just translate for my people, like in 2 minutes before we close. Kata neanzizo omulenzi ono ampadde information ebikwatagana ku kusoma era musanyukiddeko nnyo. Kati ababadde babimbuuza mwenna nga mufunye clear information, nange mweyanza okusharinga. Nja muleeta omulundi omulala nga tugenda kukola nga tubulira ensonga endala ezo accommodation, okubeera otya wano, spending otya sente, onyonya otya omulimu n'ebisinga ebiri awo. Kale kamberekereze atanaba kusubscribing, nkusabire subscribing. Bw'obeera ng'oli mupya ng'odaba Mugagga Live, tubeerako wano nga tuleeta information akwatagana ku Poland. Nno gayi wange mweyanziza nnyo okubeerako. Kale katubaleke, mweraba.